I'm seeped into Marvel right now. I got to watch a lot of the episodes for the new seasons of Marvel's What If, and I particularly was really interested to see this new original character, Kahhori, who is Haudenosaunee, specifically Mohawk. This is just a quick little review, spoiler free for now, and then I'll go ahead and talk spoilers later. I'll give it a little while so people can watch it. So the What If series, if you're not familiar, what it does is it takes, literally asks what if in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe, if characters, wound up in different places or did things differently, branching off. It's really playing around with the multiverse idea. And I really liked the first season, and I just remember the Stephen Strange episode was actually the most tragic. The latter half of the season, well, it asks if the Tesseract was sent somewhere else on Earth. And this time, instead of being sent to Norway, it was sent to North America. From here, we get a lot of really interesting stuff. And this is, part of it was a bit frustrating for me. This is the first major property thing next to Assassin's Creed 3 where we're getting the indigenous language pretty much throughout the entire thing. This is what I think people wanted to see more with Prey. And in Prey, Naru and Tabe and everyone else who is Comanche is speaking English. Obviously, we're meant to understand that, they can be speaking in their language, but we're reading it as English. But in this show, this episode in particular, everybody is speaking Mohawk. Like, everybody. We get other characters who come in who are also speaking their native language, and it's just subbed all the way through. And I just thought that was so cool because it was like, I think this is what I think audiences are starting to be. I mean, I'm not knocking Prey, but I think that was the one thing that a lot of people were a bit disappointed about Prey, that it took the immersion out. I think this really helped a lot. It was just really cool. The way that the language is just so casual, and we're able to just follow the characters. Of course, if you don't like subbed stuff, you're gonna have a hard time with it. I'm used to subs, anime and other international films, but it was very refreshing to have that and hear the Mohawk language. I was actually really the last time I heard it spoken fluently was in Assassin's Creed 3, because the protagonist in that game is half Mohawk. And so Kahhori is played by Devery Jacobs, which is kind of weird. I think they wanted to avoid spoilers for that or something. I don't think it's much of a spoiler. And Coendio, who is Katara, is also in this episode, and she does a great job as well. There's a lot of really cool aspects that draw in I just want to say that the world building of this episode was really well balanced and written with the MCU lore. They were able to combine things together. And of course, this is a what if. So there's a lot of stuff that I think people will be obviously a bit pissed off about, but they're the same people who are didn't like the Marvels movie. So it's the whole MCU verse. But with Kahhori though, it was interesting. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there could have been a little bit more with her character developing, but the problem is each episode is limited to only 30 minutes. Each episode isn't meant to be this deep character dive. It's more playing around with more thematic stuff within the MCU. I kind of like how even in the previous season, it kind of goes back to I don't know, morals, I guess. I just like how it goes back to the OG comics, where at the end of the comic there's something that the hero learned, or there's some sort of thematic moral that is kind of just recapped for you or something like that. Like a lot of the old school serials. And so, but I really enjoyed this episode. My only complaint is that I wish we got to see a little bit more of her and where she's coming from. But again, the limited time and also just how the series is formulated, it's going to be hard to kind of condense that, right? But I mean, we have a lot of, again, this is called What If. And so you're going to get a lot of people who are going to get a lot of mad about the alternate history stuff, right? But in my opinion, as natives playing around with fiction, just give us this, in my opinion. Just let us have it. You know, like, don't, it's a freaking Marvel thing. Just let us have it. And the same thing with Echo. Just let us have it. But I was pleasantly surprised. And then Kahhori's character actually plays a larger role later in the season, and I'll wait for you guys to watch that, and I'll go into spoiler territory later with that. But I liked her a lot within the short time frame, without a lot of, I guess, character stuff at the beginning. The performance and the way she conducts herself, it would kind of balanced it out a little bit for me. I was able to really like her as a character, and she even kind of looks like Devery Jacobs. That was actually quite surprising. If you look at the way she's rendered and everything, she kind of looks like Devery, and it helps that Devery is Mohawk, so like the language was pretty second nature for her. And there are other side characters who are Mohawk that are really, really cool. I really enjoyed them. But the other aspect I wanted to touch on too, that was the lore stuff mixed in with the MCU. And the MCU did this already with Thor and Loki and Odin, right? That's a lot of Norse mythology, and they've kind of utilized that into the characters. Like, the MCU isn't like not new with this, right? The way that they utilize the Tesseract with a lot of Haudenosaunee Mohawk lore and the time period was just like, it was nice. And I'll be honest, there were a lot of moments that, I don't know, just really touched me. Again, very similar to how it touched me with season 2 of Reservation Dogs. A lot of ancestral type stuff I really enjoyed. And the music, I'll talk about the music in my spoiler review. There's some really cool stuff with the music. I'll have to do some research about it, but I have a feeling that there was a lot of input from artists from the Mohawk Nation. I know the Mohawk Nation was pretty involved in this production. It's a great year for Marvel stuff in regards to Native representation. We have Echo with the Choctaw Nation, and WhatIf with the Mohawk Nation. I was really happy with it. I was pleasantly surprised with it, and I hope we get more of this stuff later on with other characters and other franchises, or fresh characters. It also made me see how natives in animation could have a pretty good future. I mean, like, there's a lot of potential there. And even video games. There's a few video games out there that play around with native lore and native characters, but the way that we see things in this show really kind of helped me open my mind a bit about like how we could play around with this type of thing. Quick little spoiler-free review for you guys. I really enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoy it. Next week or so, I'll go ahead and kind of just give you guys my spoiler breakdown of unique aspects of it. And so that's pretty much it. I really want to thank you guys. We've had quite a few new subscribers. Again, welcome. This channel is, I don't know. I'm still trying to decide what I want to do with the channel. I've kind of just been going as I go. Improvising as I go. And random little side topic too, Thomas Flight, I referenced his videos a few times on this channel, and he actually gave a shout out to me on his recent video about perspective, and it's actually a very fascinating breakdown about perspective, and I highly suggest you watch that. And like, maybe I should be better at the more theoretical approach stuff, but like what he does and where he's coming from, same thing with like Stories of Old. That's the kind of thing I'm leaning towards a lot, but I can't quite stray away from me talking to the camera and being way more casual with you guys. Scripted stuff for me is just a little bit constraining. I do want to do a little bit more video essay-esque stuff too down the road, but I kind of just like sitting here being more casual and talking to you guys. So that's pretty much it. And so I'll see you guys in the next one.